It plays a significant part of our relationship.
Kind of like Chubba Pringles, once a pop, just can't stop.
You just learn to be okay with yourself and be okay with your limitations as well, which is really important when you've got a disability.
It takes a lot of relationship building before you can say, Helen, could you put Tom in my sexy knickers, please?
Sex and sexuality is a topic that I necessarily haven't explored myself as much as I probably should have.
I'm Tom. I'm married to Charlotte from Nottingham, and I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is a serious and progressive muscle wasting disease.
I'm Charlotte. I've been with Tom for 2 years and we got married this August. I'm from Nottingham and I've got a progressive neuromuscular disease.
I'm Leah, I'm from Blackburn in Lancashire. I have SMA type 2, which is a neuromuscular condition, meaning that my body becomes extremely weak and I struggle to do everyday tasks.
Hi, I'm Chloe and I am Leah's sister/PA.
Sorry, I'm okay.
Get your drama skills back.
Your sex life?
Yeah, so there's quite a few different aspects to our sex life that I can bring to your attention. One of the main things we use to help us have sex is the hoist. Basically all it involves is me or Charlotte getting into the sling and getting hoisted over the top of each other.
Our hoist at home only has buttons to go up and down, but the one on our honeymoon remote had like buttons to go left and right as well. And it was kind of like a scene from Wallace and Gromit, where like I was just kind of in the sling going backwards and forwards and up and down, and like I just couldn't find the right buttons, and just legs kind of like going everywhere, and it was quite a scene.
Does that mean mine or yours?
Yours. I don't know, both of us.
But if I read it, it'd have been yours.
Yeah. No, your sex life.
It's a relatively short one, obviously, because it's only been just over 2 years since I lost my virginity, but I have undeniably had a lot of sex since then. Kind of like Chubba Pringles. Once a pop, just can't stop. Kind of, yeah, a bit like that. To me, sex is an important part of any relationship, whether that's a short fling or a long-term thing. It helps me to feel connected to whoever I'm with.
So is there many difficulties with your sex life, like with your disability?
I think I've got more confident with it, which makes guys more confident with it. So like at first I was like really shy about like a lot of my scars and the hoisting, but that's got easier the more time's gone on, and the more like, obviously the more you get to know someone, it's a lot easier as well. But yeah, it's a challenge, because obviously there's certain things that I'm never going to be able to do with my disability. There's certain positions you're never going to be able to do, certain things you're never going to be able to do. But it's about finding a way between both of you. And like whether you've known someone for one day or a year, you can still find a way between both of you. You know, it's like I say, if they want it bad enough, they'll work harder for it. It's one of them, isn't it? It's not all coming for free. You got to work for it.
I think what helps us, I think you'd probably agree, is that our PA's having a sense of humour.
Especially when we call them in and like I'm sort of like sitting on your face and like you're suffocating. And
I think that accidental innuendos from PAs make us laugh all the time, and just having that general ability to laugh at those things opens up our confidence and our ability to communicate with them about sex and intimacy.
It takes a lot of relationship building before you can say, Helen, could you put Tom in my sexy knickers, please? It's amazing when you have that relationship that you can do that, and you can feel free to do that with your PAs, because sex is a health and well-being need, like as far as we're concerned.
Hi, I'm Shakira. I'm from South London and I'm Junior's sister.
Everyone needs privacy at some point. There's no privacy when you have a challenge of experience being in a car and my girlfriend at the time wanted to come and stay over and it turned out into a big argument because the staff didn't want to leave me and her to have our own personal time, which I think it's wrong. I am human. I do have rights. It's supposed to be my home, but it never felt like home. She had to sign an agreement form that she wanted to be alone with me.
How did that make you feel?
Angry, frustrated. I feel like my freedom was taken away. I didn't feel normal. I'm not gonna miss out on life just because of someone's negative mentality.
I think people just put us in a box. You know, we're asexual, not interested, not worthy, not valuable, not desirable. You're constantly fighting for rights and fighting for services and fighting for support. You start to internalise that you're not worthy, and then suddenly you're in a sex education class where everyone's the same. You might have some disability-specific bits that are more relevant for you and bits that aren't relevant for you, but actually if it's inclusive for everyone, why not? I'm Lucy, I'm from Essex, and I have a rare form of mitochondrial disease which has caused various complex medical needs and multiple organ failure, and I live at home with my mum, my sister and my assistant's dog Molly.
Hi, my name's Amy. I'm from Taunton in Somerset. My disability causes severe muscular spasms, excessive fatigue and pain.
So, did you get any sex education at school?
No, I don't really think many disabled people necessarily tend to get access to sex education. They tend to get just sort of pushed on the side a little bit. Seems like all my peers did, but I didn't. Did you?
No, nor did I. I didn't get any sex education. I think you got the basic period talk at school when you're in primary school, but apart from that I was kind of kept out, and then I became too ill to go to school. The community services never really picked up kind of the sex education side of things. Everything I've kind of learned, I've learned on the internet, from my sister, from other people.
I was going to say, so where do you learn about sex if you don't have that sex education?
But also, you know, it's where do you learn about the disability-specific sex education? Because the broad principles kind of, you can understand the medical stuff, but how is it relevant to me? I don't find there's that much information that relates to me as a person and my disability and how that affects, you know, what sex education I need.
When we were removed from having the sex education class with other peers, it excludes us.
It's difficult because if you don't have that information, you can't know what is safe, know what is normal. You know, you have to emotionally prepare to be an adult, to be a sexual being. You have to go through that process all the time, from childhood into young adulthood and beyond. I think if you've never had that education, that information, that support, you're not going to go out and know how to have a relationship. You're not going to have those social skills and that information behind you. And if you're not worthy of sex education, how are you ever going to be worthy of sex?
We need to be able to cater for the disabled, but it shouldn't have to have this big focus because it should just be natural and appreciated.
It just should be part of diversity. We're all different. Yeah. It just should be part of that natural spectrum. I think for me as well, when do I tell a partner that one day my life's going to prematurely end? You know, I wasn't supposed to make adulthood. I wasn't supposed to make 23, I'm now 25, I'm not going to live forever. We've had some really horrible conversations with my team about, infections ending my life and complications. At what point do I reveal that to a partner? Because bringing people into my life, knowing I'm going to cause them pain is quite hard. And at first I very much felt that I was being selfish to want that. But now I think, well, better to have something short and sweet than have nothing at all. And surely someone that gets to know me and love me and can kind of carry on my legacy after I've died and remember me is more important than that little bit of pain they'll go through. And if it's worth it, the pain will be worth it.
Put yourselves in other people's shoes. How would you feel if you're deprived of what makes you human?
If you're raised to think disabled people are other, if they're not part of society, you're not going to assume they're part of every part of life.
There's a general perception within the public that young people with complex disabilities, one, aren't interested in sex or that sex isn't relevant to them.
Never let a disability stop you from being you.
Sex can be a challenge in any relationship.
This is our challenge, we've got to own it.
It's okay to ask questions, and sometimes you might get a funny look, but you sort of have to be strong enough to say I'm doing it regardless.
We're having to educate an entire, or more than one generation about what we need, want, and actually are deserving of having.
I want to make a change. And I want to talk like those. Talk and sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex.
We're insane.
Get more from the Open University. Check out the links on screen now.